Moving on to our three-pack. Obviously, Todd, as you reported, well, there's no homes for sale out there.
Very little.
And I have a couple buyers. We pleaded, please, let's buy something over the holidays, please. No, we want to wait till after the first of the year. Well, they should have bought over the holidays because
even more of a
the
limited
competition
selection
is just as fierce as it was before. So I just want to go through some of the tips that I do when presenting offers to try to increase the chances of my buyers getting their offer accepted. First thing, and I know most of us, I mean, I know this seems repetitive. Call the listing agent. You have to begin to build that rapport with them. You want to have some sort of relationship with that listing agent so that they know you, they know that you're serious, and in deep in their mind, subconsciously, they want your client to win. But sometimes it's not easy. So this is literally a text that I send. If I can't get a hold of a listing agent, my client is getting ready to put in an offer at such and such property, but I had a couple qualifying questions when you have a few minutes. And I generally get a call back. And so then what are those qualifying questions? Is your client looking for post-possession? I know our broker staff doesn't like post-possession, but I have secured 2 contracts last year just on, talking to the listing agent, we got some offers, but my seller needs post-possession. So I was the one to ask. We sent over a post-possession agreement, and boom, and ask, specific title, and what kind of inspection period are they looking for, and when are you presenting offers? I need to know when you're presenting offers, and then lastly, and we're seeing more agents being responsive to it, but I will have a simple conversation of saying, listen, I don't want to waste everybody's time. You know how the market is. This is where my client is. Is it worth writing an offer? And I get a lot of feedback now. It wasn't the case 6 months ago, but now agents are understanding and saying, yeah, you know what? Send it over. And I'm getting a lot of agents saying, okay, well, this is our highest and best offer right now. This is where you need to be. And boom.
Well, they give you, it's like when you go on a listing appointment, if you ask enough questions, the seller tells you exactly what the objections are and what it takes for you to get the listing. But to that same point, this begins, Mike, when when you're seeking the cooperation and seeking the cooperation with the agent. You're calling them, you're asking them for availability, you're having a conversation. They're watching you, and the way you go about doing your business will determine whether their perception is you're a professional, and if you are, that caliber of performance is a lot different for them as well throughout that whole transaction, versus if you're catty and disrespectful on the phone and all agents hold all offers till Monday and all the crap that goes on. All you're going to do is feed the frenzy, and your offer may not have as good an opportunity. So that's a really good point.
And you've done your job properly representing your buyer when you've stayed in touch with that listing agent, when at the end of the day, your client's offer does not get accepted and they call you and they feel really bad for your client. Yeah. That's when you've built a good relationship in that short period of time. Number 2, every listing we take, we probably get about 20 to 25 offers and maybe have 2 lenders call. It boggles my mind. Have your lender call on behalf of your client and let them build the case on the strength of your buyer. And then sometimes that listing agent, I find this amazing, won't tell me what it's going to take and won't tell me what kind of offers they're sitting on, but they'll tell my lender. And I don't know why. I don't understand that for the life of me. But then my lender will call and say, okay, listen, this is what the agent told me, and this is where we need to be. So your lender has to call. And I'm telling you, if you're working with a lender who's not willing to make calls on behalf of your buyer, especially over the weekend, it's time to shop a new lender. But the caveat is, let your lender know ahead of time. Don't just throw it on them at Sunday at 5 o'clock and go, oh, by the way. So give them a heads up. But as I said, oftentimes the listing agent will tell your lender more than they will tell you.
Well, yeah, they're a third party kind of to the transaction. And what do you think? You're going to say, oh, yeah, hey, I have a great client. My duty to disclose is my client's not qualified. No, of course, you're not going to start the relationship that way. But to that particular point, I just want everybody to understand statutorily, a listing agent is not allowed to give information about an offer unless the seller instructs them to do so. So, yeah. Yeah. So, again, I just want to make sure everybody's out there. And then the other piece to this one is, the lender, all I can tell you is there needs to be a certain element of comfort when you're against a cash offer. And so if your lender doesn't call, there's your sign.
All right, and then of course, just keep following up. Like I said, you've done your job when that agent says, "Hey, I feel really bad for you, feel really bad for your client." Keep checking in to find status. Come up with reasons to call and text to inquire. Because you're wanting to make the listing agent pay attention to your offer. You're wanting your client's offer to stand out, and if your client doesn't get it, submit a backup offer. A lot of these properties are falling out of escrow.
Yeah.
Submit the backup offer anyways to stay in front.
Yeah, the big thing here is that R4281101C obligates the listing agent to perform all acts of a holding of a real estate license expeditiously, and that means without intentional or neglect. And so the big thing here is it's the intentional one. It's the hold all offers till Monday. If you receive an offer and the time and the terms of acceptance happens to be tonight at 9 o'clock instead of Monday night, like they're asking, because remember, all the information in an MLS listing is nothing more than if in an all perfect world the seller gets what they want, that would be what they want. Well, who do you represent? Their seller, or do you represent your buyer? You represent your buyer. So there's some strategy tips and tricks that you can do as well in writing an offer to better potentially position your client without putting them in a situation where they're going to lose the house.
All right, so like I said, these are some of the tips that I do. And the other thing that I also do, though I know Transaction Desk will automatically send the offer to the listing agent, I also download it and email it to that agent as well, because people, for some reason, they miss these messages with Transaction Desk. And that way, when I send over that email with the offer attached, then I'll also include the lender as well.
Do you ever have an issue with wondering whether or not the seller or the listing agent presented your offer?
You know what? I don't, honestly, I don't get into that.
Yeah.
I understand the market, the way that it is. And I always verify that they've received. I verify with a call, a text, email, and verify that they've received the offer. If not, if we don't get the offer, it's time to move on. I don't have time to complain to the commissioner's office and
no, this wouldn't be. This is just an NAR code thing. So
no, I understand it's a code thing, but I assume that they presented the offer. For me personally, I just want verification that they've received the offer.
Gotcha.
And so
cool.
And by going back to point number 1 and 3, my constant follow up. I just have to assume that they've taken a look at the offer, because I'm engaging with that agent. We get tons of offers, and we get a ton of offers whenever we hear from the agent. Here's an email. That's it. I want the agent that keeps communicating with me. In the back of my mind, I want to work with that agent, and I'm rooting for that agent because I like the communication.
And that's what's going to happen during escrow.
Yeah, exactly. All right, Todd. Appreciate it.